According to St. Luke, the 24th chapter. But on the first day of the week at early dawn, they came to the tomb, taking the spices that they had prepared. The women found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they went in, they did not find the body. While they were perplexed about this, suddenly two men in dazzling clothes stood beside them. The women were terrified and bowed their face to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, but has risen. Remember how he told you, while he was still in Galilee, that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners and to be crucified, and on the third day rise again?" Then they remembered his words, and returning from the tomb, they told all this to the 11 and to all the rest. Now it was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and the other women with them who told this to the apostles. But these words seemed to them an idle tale, and they did not believe them. But Peter got up and ran to the tomb, stooping and looking in. He saw the linen clothes by themselves. Then he went home, amazed at what had happened. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Grace to you and peace from God the Father, from Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
You may be seated. Many years ago, I grew up in West Texas, deep West Texas, a mess of where the wind blows a lot. Well, I mean 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. But nevertheless, it's a little breezy out there. Had a new friend that they hadn't been in town very long, but their Christmas tradition was they set out luminaries, and I know that some of you maybe from up north and know what luminaries are, but not everyone does. They're little bags, and they usually have little candles in them, and people line their walkways and sidewalks with them. And they're really beautiful. And so he explained to me that's what he was going to do for his Christmas decorations. Yes, I know it's Easter. Stay with me. Anyway, so nevertheless, so I said, you know, that sounds beautiful. And I only have a couple of minor suggestions. If you're going to do that here, you might want to fill your bags up at least halfway with sand, so when it gets breezy, they'll blow away. And instead of using these real candles in real paper bags. Well, anyway. So, I said, you may also want to use those little electronic flicker candles, with a battery. You can just turn them on, set them in the sand. I said, that might be better. He goes, well, he said, no, I'm going to do it the right way, which meant his way. And I said, okay, whatever, I backed off. This is going to be so much fun. And yes, I became a pastor after this. Nevertheless, so we had this great dinner party. There were about 15 of us over there, and he fired up and literally lit up his luminaires. They really were pretty. And it was only kind of breezy when we first got there. I can't tell us without laughing, I'm sorry. Anyway, so we got in, we're about halfway, about 30 minutes into our meal, and all of a sudden there's this frantic knocking at the door. I mean, somebody was just going crazy out at his door. And I kind of sat back. And this poor kid was at the front door, and he said, yeah. He goes, Mister, I'm sorry to bother you and all. He goes, but my mom wanted to come over here and tell you, we've already called the fire department. Your whole yard's on fire, and so are most of your bushes. And all of a sudden, he turned around, looked right at him, he said, don't you say a word. I did. Anyway, I thought about that for so many years. The reason I tell that particular story is because how many of you know how frustrating it is when you try to explain something to someone and they don't believe you, or they don't want to hear you, or they totally discount everything you have to say for whatever reason. When we're younger, many times it's only because we're young, and we may really know something really interesting and intriguing, but we're totally discounted maybe because of our age. I know it happened in college, in my undergraduate, when the underclassmen, and you have something to contribute to one of those mixed up classes, and they totally ignore you because you're just an underclassman, you don't know anything. It was really hurtful in seminary. Most of us were second career, which means older than we should have been when we went. But nevertheless, we would totally be it's like we never sat foot in a church. And so everything we had to say was just totally, and it hurts. And it kind of irritates you. And it's just infuriating when you know that you have something that would be valid for the group to know. The women in our gospel lesson this morning, I haven't been able to get away from this. Luke is the only one that phrases it this way. We only hear it every few years. Luke is the only one that phrases it this way, and it just stuck me right in the gut this year. I don't know why, but when the women, they were the first ones in the tomb, and it's like that in every gospel. But when they came back this time, they were proclaiming that Christ is risen, and did you catch the line? And it seemed an idle tale to them. And let's just be blatantly honest, that was only because they were women. I know that's how I feel about it. Amen. Because the children are listening. And so the women come in and say, "See me not tell." Yes, it's true. Peter does run out, at the end of it, out of curiosity, but he doesn't ever, not in this text, he never vindicates the women. He never comes back and says, "Hey, you're right." That never happens. And it seems to me a part of our Easter proclamation, and I really want you to hear this because it's important for everyone in this room. We can go out and say, "He's risen," and it's a wonderful thing to say. But what resurrection really means, and this day is all about God raising Jesus and God's yes to humanity. But what that really means, resurrection is different for each one of us. Now, yes, at the end of life, we're all raised from the dead, and I get that. I'm not there. I'm talking about the kind of resurrection where God gets in contact with you in a way that only you know that it has been God. Let me give you a couple of examples. Resurrection. Okay, I have been around a lot. I've been privileged to be around a lot of people when they die. And I want you to know this is really cool. All except for two really strange exceptions with a bunch of family stuff happening. Every single time, all these dozens and dozens of deaths I've been with, in the room when the person dies, there's just almost an overwhelming sense of peace that just comes across everyone that's there. It's very difficult to describe unless you've been there. Those of you who've been around death know what that's like. That's difficult to explain because it has to be experienced. That's one of my experiences with God where I know I've been in touch with God. That peace can only come from one place. But there's another place where God gets in touch with us. And it's not just when we're grieving, but it can be. But how many of you know that life can sometimes toss us some pretty low blows, and sometimes we can get pretty low, and sometimes bad things start to happen, and we feel so out of control, and you just want to toss it all in. I know that, and this really is true, in seminary there was a point where I was really just to cash it all in. Where I was in the second year of a 4-year program, second year, and it was just, how many of you know graduate programs are really hard anyway? They're just an overwhelming amount of work. I had that, I had the kids, and we had just blown out a tire. We didn't really have the money for new tires. And it was just one thing, you know how life can sometimes just domino until you're just ready to say, all right, I give up, just cash it in. Well, this is going to sound really stupid to you, and I'm okay with that. You don't have to tell me later because I already know. But I know for certain that I was driving back and I was in Interstate 35, which is already a religious experience. That was funny to me. I was on I-35, it really needed to be what it was just now. I was on I-35 and I was thinking, what am I doing? And you kind of pray but kind of not, because how many of you know when you get one of those spots, you begin to question just about everything, even your faith. And I was like, what have I done? I ripped my family up from a good home. I'm here, I tossed away a good job, and these people are mean. It was one of those, And I was really feeling pretty down and out. And plus, I was in a traffic jam. I was going to be late. I hate being late. It makes me crazier. And so there I was. Well, traffic broke. We're kind of stopped because, 35. Anyway, so the traffic broke just a little bit in front of me. These cars just snuck in. Well, that kind of irritates me anyway. Long story. Anyway, but when he snuck right in front of me, he had a bumper sticker And I had one professor that liked to freak out when I actually told this in front of a congregation one time, and it's okay if you do. I know how to do exorcism. And so, there's this bumper sticker, and it said, "Shape up, Buttercup, this is real life." And I knew in that moment God was talking to me. No one else would have gotten it. And I know that sounds really funny, and I kind of wanted it to, but it's also, I am deathly serious. I knew in that moment that God was telling me, you know what, we're going to get through this, and I'm not alone in all this. And that was that stupid bumper sticker was, and I know that not a lot of people believe this way in their faith. That's okay. You just need to catch up. But I knew in that moment that that message really was just for me in that moment in time. Had I read it any other space and time, any other place, driving down, I would have thought nothing about that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But in that moment, I knew that God was with me. We're going to get through this whole thing together. And that is a resurrection story because it raised me to new life. I knew I had a second breath. I knew that somehow, some way, we were going to get through this. And that night, when I got home from seminary, and the kids were going down, anyway, when I got home that night and started going through the mail, I got it, and this is going to probably shake me up, and I'm sorry. We got a card. Oh, man, I'm sorry. We got a card in the mail, and this is really intriguing to me. We got a card in the mail from one of my dear friends from my sending congregation, my home congregation. This is the lady who kind of helped raise money, who kept me there, and helped get us through. And she had a check in there for not a reasonable amount of money, which was really nice. But she had a note in there, and she could not have known this. There's no way she could have known this because it had just happened. But she put a note there. This is for your personal expenses. This is not for tuition. You guys use it however you want. My husband and I have been talking, and we decided, with all the driving, you guys probably need tires about now. What are the odds? What are the odds? There's no way she could have known. She was 300 miles in the other direction. I didn't have time for phone calls. There's no way. That was a God moment. That was a resurrection story. Shape Up, Buttercup was serious. That was a deadly serious comment. And I knew what it meant, but most especially when I got home that night, and there was that check. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, people. And that is a resurrection story. And it may seem an idle tale to you, but I know that everyone in this room probably has their own resurrection story that probably has meaning only to you. And if you were to stand up here and tell all the rest of us all about it, you think you're just as crazy as a pastor. Let that be okay. Because that is your resurrection story, and that is what Easter is all about. It is all about proclamation and telling your God story so that someone else will know that, this stuff is real. We're not making all this stuff up. God is a real thing. God is a real person raised so that we can have new life. And if we can just grasp that and be cognizant of all of those little resurrection happenings in our lives and not be afraid to share. That's what Easter is all about. That is the true Easter proclamation. That we're not alone. We haven't been abandoned. We haven't been left to our own demise. God is intimately involved in all of our lives because we know that. Now we get all churchy. Because the empty tomb proves God's yes for all of us. Yes, even to my strong personality friend who burned up his yard, I know that deep down God really loves that person too. Amen? Amen. May the peace which passes all human understanding keep all of our hearts and